What's up, guys? I'm Ryan Roberts. Welcome into another edition of the At Large Bid Bearcats podcast, brought to you as always by Riverfront U. Tonight we are joined by 6'6", 240-pound tight end Gavin Grover. Gavin signed with the Cincinnati Bearcats yesterday and made it official. So welcome to the Bearcat family, Gavin.
Hey, thank you for having me on the podcast. I appreciate you having me on here, talking to me about what my process has been like. So hopefully this should be some fun.
So you signed with Cincinnati yesterday. It's been a long road and long high school career. What did that moment mean to not just you, but also your family and those who are closest to you?
Well, especially, a long time coming. I've been talking to Cincinnati forever. So, it's been really special, like meeting all the different people throughout and, especially this new staff. They've all been great to me and my family. Like I remember speaking with Coach Satterfield in his office and talking with all the phone calls and text messages with Coach Stepp. I've gotten to know this staff and this group of people so much. So it's great to finally put some pen to paper and really make it official finally. Like his official when he committed, then his official when we got the official offer. So it's almost like it's officially official.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a process. It seems like, you committed all the way back in April. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of the recruiting process. You had offers from Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, Michigan State, among others. What were you looking for in the recruiting process when you were in that decision mode where you're looking for where you want to attend the next 4 years of your career?
Yeah, so I've always been a big competitor. So I always want to like go somewhere where they can compete to win like championships and whatnot. So I was looking at schools. I want a school who's like doing well. And Cincinnati at the time was doing well. They won a bunch of American Conference championships. They made it to the college football playoff. So I think that was huge for me and like deciding Cincinnati. It's also looking for someone who wants to like develop me because I think I have a frame to like put on a little bit more weight than I do right now. So I think as someone who has a good weight room program to build me up, as well as just a staff who like believes in me and they're investing time into me. So I think that's super important, as well as like an offense who utilizes their ties not only in the pass game but also in the run game. Having ties in there just keep defenses on their toes. So I feel like if you have two on the field, they have to change their personnel. They have to decide whether they want to put a linebacker in there who's mismatched in the pass game, put a safety up there, or in the run game where they're like less effective as if there wasn't a linebacker. So I think like just the schematically wise, I think I was looking for someone who utilized the tight ends in that way. I was also looking for like a family atmosphere. I know a lot of people say that, but just like someone who like they just like treat you like every time I went to Cincinnati, I felt good there. I felt like I was home before I was even home, like all the time. I visited Cincinnati a bunch of times throughout my process, so it was just like I don't know. I felt good and I felt safe every time I was there. I felt like, oh, these people are taking care of me. It's good. Even all throughout like the different staffs, like they all took care of me, like especially the new staff. So it keeps me feeling good and confident that I was in the right place.
So you kind of answered my next question, but what exactly was it that stood out about Cincinnati? You're going on all these visits, you're hearing different recruiting pitches, different visions for how you'll be utilized. What was it that stood out about Cincinnati when you finally decided to commit April 16th?
Yeah, so Cincinnati, I think it came down to Cincinnati, Kentucky, and West Virginia at the end. Those two schools, two great schools, don't get me wrong, Kentucky and West Virginia. I hold them very high, on my list. But I think Cincinnati, at the end of the day, they showed the family aspects, like I was just saying. Like they made me feel at home. The tight end coach, I could talk to him about whenever and whatever I wanted to. So that was a big part of it. Like Coach Stepp did a great job with me and talking me through everything. He'd be super transparent. Like he would let me know, like, hey, I'm talking to other tight ends, like Devin. Like he'd let me know, like, hey, he might be committing and stuff like that. So like that's all like good to know. Be like transparent because like their tight end room needs to be bolstered a little bit because like they lost two guys last year and or like I guess 2 years ago and Lenny and Josh, so they needed the rebuild and then they had the room this year. Obviously, Shimon transferring, it leaves more opportunities. So I feel like that there's opportunity to play here. So I think that was a piece that really made me want to like come and play here because there's opportunity to play. I don't want to sit out a whole year, but if I'm not prepared, then I'm ready to take a red shirt. But like if I can get on the field and play, then I want to get on the field and play and help and contribute in any way I can.
You kind of hit on Coach Stepp, so that'll kind of lead into what's that relationship like with Coach Stepp, a guy that extremely, very much so a family man, very humble, energetic. What's that relationship like with him?
Well, that's great. I can talk to him about anything whenever. I just had him for the home visit. That was a great time. Him seeing my house and everything, and him just like talking to my parents and family like they've known him forever, and we've only really known him since like around like probably March is when we really like met him, because like he was there in January, but we didn't really know him at all because he was the wide
Yeah,
receivers coach, and like that was just when the new staff all got there. So we really haven't known him that long, but like feels like we know him forever, talking about whatever, and he's telling us about his girls and his wife and all that. So it's great. Like I was just texting him today about him going to New York and enjoying like all
yeah.
that like Christmas stuff there. So really, I could talk to him about anything. I mean, I trust him with everything, and I think I can trust him with him taking me where I want to go, which is the NFL eventually. So I think that really helps out with the process and deciding to go to Cincinnati.
So a lot of different staffs have probably told you their vision for you. What has Cincinnati told you in terms of how they're going to utilize you in their offense?
Yeah, so I mean they wanted me to be able to block, because in high school I blocked a little bit, like this year more than the other past
Mhm.
years. Coach Barrs asked me to get in the run game and block, and they've been pretty like happy with seeing me sticking my nose in the run game more and being physical with people. I think that also helps that I've added quite a bit of size, and like I'm now 240 pounds, so it's easier to push people around at that weight. So I think that they want to get me in the run game because I got a frame to have the body that like maul people in the run game, especially in the Big 12. That's what they were looking for. Like me and Devin are both big tight ends, so we can push people around because there's big D linemen in the Big 12. It's Power
Mhm.
Five conference, so they want us both to be able to move people around, as well as I have the tools necessary like in the pass game. Obviously they're gonna have to work with me. Make some quicker cuts here and there. In and out of breaks faster. But like I've ran almost all the routes, and I credit that to my high school coach. He's made me run everything from corner routes, bang posts. I've had to run it all. I've played outside receiver. I've played in the slot. I've played attached, like H back too. So he's kept me on my toes doing everything. So I think that'll help me at Cincinnati, and that'll help me be able to do whatever they need me to do in the offense, whether it's lineup attached in a 3-point stance, or maybe like bump out a little bit into the slot and run some different concepts and whatnot. So I think that just being able to be versatile and not being able to
Mhm.
be one dimensional, just being able to block, catch passes, and do whatever they need.
Josh Wiley, you brought up him. Him and Lenny Taylor, two guys that had a lot of success playing together. How do you see you and Devin working with one another at that tight end position?
I mean, we've already been talking a lot. I mean, I've known Dev throughout the whole recruiting process because, like, they usually keep the position groups together. So I've been talking to him at tight end a little bit. Like, I remember one visit we were talking together a whole bunch. So, like, we literally talked the whole time during the visit. So we've known each other, and I think we'll work well together. I think we both see that there's opportunity in this tight end room with only really 2 or 3 guys coming back to the room. So I think it's nice, knowing that, but we both have that opportunity and we're both going to compete with each other. And that's going to make it that much better for the both of us. I think hopefully we can be a dynamic duo eventually here in a few months. So I'm excited to see how it develops and how the offense utilizes us both.
So Cincinnati was going through the transition into the Big 12 this year. Did that have any impact on your final decision? And same with, the Nikes. I don't think the Nike stuff matters as much on the football side, but did either of those transitions play a role in your commitment?
I mean, I think Cincinnati's gone through a lot of transitions. After that college football playoff appearance, Coach Fickle initially made those plans, and now Coach Satterfield's carrying them out. Like with the Nike, I mean, the Nike deal is pretty cool. I mean, everybody likes Nike apparel, so that's pretty sweet. And then, the Big 12, I think, is the really most important thing. I mean, playing Power Five football is like a lot of kids' dreams, so that's like kind of cut and almost like sealed the deal for me. And then that brings a lot of momentum because kids are like, oh, now Cincinnati is like this really getting rolling. So even more kids, the 2025s, 2026s are now going to be like, oh, we got to go play there. That's they're legitimate programs. So I think that helps with the recruiting. And then that also helps with like now if Power Five conference they need the Power Five facility. So like that huge $34 million facility they have,
Hmm.
like that's gonna be a huge push and like it's nice to have that. Like I mean you've seen like the renderings online, like those are pretty sweet. So I mean
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that all entails. I think that'll just it just elevates everything. Elevates recruiting, elevates how the players train, how they practice, even how they eat. Like just it's pretty impressive.
Did Scott Satterfield joke with you during the recruiting process that the indoor practice facility renderings were his screen lock?
Oh yes, I think he actually showed me. I had a meeting with him. I want to say maybe in the spring, and he had a bunch of pictures in his office too, like a bunch of like posters up and stuff. So is pretty neat. I believe I saw those though on his phone.
Yeah.
Those are pretty
So
neat.
right. So Cincinnati obviously has three guys at the tight end position in the NFL right now: Travis Kelsey, Josiah DeGuara, and Josh Wiley. Are there any tight ends or professional players that you try to model your game after?
Yeah, obviously with him being the best time in the league, I'd like to model my game after Travis Kelsey. I
Mm,
think he's a little different. I think he's a little more like strictly receiver based, but I like to rate his success, like the way he like moves his body on the field, like his ball controls elite, and how he like positions his body between the like ball you man type stuff. And then also I like watching Mark Andrews. I think I'm a more similar body type. He's a thicker dude, but he can still like make those plays, run those like nice routes. It's not as like wide receiver esque. It's more like it's a tight end running routes
right.
versus like a receiver. Travis Kelsey's more like receiver. He still blocks sometimes, but it's more like more realistic for me to like watch Mark Andrews play. I love what Gronkowski's probably my favorite player of all time. So like I always watched him play and I'll try to like model after that and see what he does and play. I like to play physical now. Like I think my sophomore, junior year, I wasn't as physical, but this year I was trying to take people's heads off. So
Yeah.
it helped. It helped a little bit. So
So who
I'd
is?
say, hmm,
Go ahead.
I'd just say like Gronk and Mark Andrews, Travis Kelsey a little bit as well, just because him being a Cincinnati guy and him being the best time in the league, anyone would want to do what he does. So.
So you mentioned being more physical this year. Who is Gavin Grover on and off the field? What are the differences?
Yeah, honestly, on the field, I don't really talk at all. Like I keep to myself. I do my job and get it done. Like I'll scrap it out. I'll make some flashy plays here and there, but I'm just doing my job. I'm not going to do anything extra. I don't like all that like talking and stuff. Like it's not.
Mm.
So I just like I do what needs to be done. I'll do the dirty work in the trenches, or I'll run routes and make plays on the sideline or in space. So and then
So
off the field as well.
yeah, yeah.
Off the
What
field,
do you like off
I'm
the
kind of
field?
relaxed, laid back. I kind of just try to keep it easy going. I'm honestly down for anything, whatever. Like me and my friends are always just doing random stuff, like driving around, going to sheets, roosters, big one for us. So I'm kind of just go with the flow type of dude and just chilling. Like to have fun, like to live life. You only live once, so.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your career at Olentangy. So for your career, I want to make sure I get this right because you had a really good career there. 105 receptions, 1,212 yards, 12 touchdowns. But as a senior, you get second team All State. You finish with 63 receptions, 853 yards, and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What was the biggest difference between your junior and senior year that kind of allowed you to break out and have the type of year that you had?
Yeah, I think I work after my junior season. I was a little disappointed with like how I performed. I mean, and also like wanting to have a good senior season because our team we went 4-7 my sophomore, so we were obviously disappointed with that record. So working hard like to like make our team better. Like I was working hard with our quarterback Ethan Grunkemeyer as well as my other teammates in that senior class. working hard with that, as well as just like putting extra work in the weight room. I really hit the weight room that summer super hard because I wanted to like change my body. I wanted to be able to make those blocks that I knew Cincinnati would want me to make eventually, because I have the frame to do it. It's just like the want to do and like the will to do. It's like it's a mindset. It's a mindset. So I think that, as well as like just reps with the quarterback, catching footballs from him. We played together since fourth grade, so like just keeping that going and just continuing to build that trust. Like we worked through routes, like we ran routes like 3 times a week at one point. I thought he was gonna throw out his arm. So it was just that type of stuff, just like grinding your face off.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So you're gonna get on campus in a couple weeks. You're one of the 10 early enrollees that Cincinnati has. What what went into that decision to early enroll, and walk us through that process, because I don't think some people understand the steps and hurdles that you have to overcome to be able to do that.
yeah. So honestly, originally, I was not planning on early enrolling. I was actually going to stay. I was going to play my full basketball season. I was also going to play my volleyball season. A lot of people don't know this, but I also played volleyball in the spring with my school team. And we've been pretty good in the past, so I honestly wanted to come back for my senior year because our freshman year was really good. The last 2 years have been so. So I want to come back and lead to a good senior year. But I've been talking to the coaches. Midway through the football season, I was kept talking to Coach Stepp. He lost like some tight ends, some of them got hurt and all that. And Coach Stepp, keep emphasizing, like obviously he said like he was cool with me like not coming early because he understands, I'm a competitor. I want to enjoy high school. You only have high school once in your life, so he's cool with me and with me doing that. But he kept talking to me, be like, hey, I can't wait to have you guys here. And I was like, you know what, I want to like this is what I want to do for the next 4 years and hopefully another 5 to 10 years after that in the NFL. That's the dream. And so I wanted to. Football's my thing, so that's what made me kind of want to go early. Put the extra work in, and work on the upper body strength, work on maybe the speed and agility that I'm gonna need when I get to that level playing in the Big 12. So I think just wanting to improve myself, and also want to be able to compete in spring ball. I feel like spring ball is a huge part of development. Just not only like having those tough practices, but also having the spring game, like kind of like it's a first test of like real college football live
Mhm.
competition. So I feel like that's a huge step in the process.
Is it kind of weird to you that you're gonna probably go from spring game to prom maybe in the same week or two?
Yeah, yeah. So I was thinking about that. Me and my other friend who's early enrolling. We think we might both come back and do all that. So that'll be kind of interesting. I don't know how that's all going to transpire. A lot of planning with my mother probably is what's
Yeah.
that's going to go on. She's gonna be like, all right, you got to leave on this day. You got to get back this day you got to be here for your lifts on Monday or something like that. So I bet we'll plan all that out here soonish. My mom probably already has it planned out. I just don't know yet.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to most with getting on campus?
Honestly, talking to other like the recruits and like obviously I have all my best friends here in like in Lewis Center. But like I'm like ready to build some like new relationships, and like meet the new people because I've kind of been around the same people pretty much my whole life. So
Yeah.
it'd be nice to like get out there, see some new people. I mean, a lot of kids from my high school go to Cincinnati, so it'll be cool seeing some old friends I haven't seen in a while down there. But also just like get to know the guys who I'm going to be grinding with and trying to turn this thing around and get this team going. I mean, we're all super excited. I love talking to the group chat to them. Like we are just talking about how a bunch of the guys won state championship, like
Mhm.
Samaj, Elijah won theirs, Jaquan won his, and who else? Dakari won his state championship. So like we were all pretty hyped for them about that. So just like talking to them and like building those bonds that are going to last us these 4 years when we're all here together.
So
That'll be special.
when Scott Satterfield did his signing day presser yesterday, he kind of mentioned that he was looking for first really good football players, but second character and men with good intentions and wanting to come in and work, coachable. you visited with the Corey Anderson and Daniel James, among others. But what is that relationship like with this group, and how much did Scott Satterfield hit on, high character kids in this class, as well as good football players?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think what he really expresses when you're building a program, especially when he just gets there with a new team, he needs players and dudes who are going to buy into the process that he's bringing with them. I think there could have been some butting of heads this year with the old players and the new, and like kind of meshing that all in. So I think getting the Coach Satterfield getting the guys that are going to buy into his process and do the things that he's asking of us to do. I think that's super important. I think he's done a great job of that with this class. I mean, me talking to all dudes, I've had zero problems with anybody in this group. Like, I've really loved talking to everyone. I could talk to an O lineman, D lineman, corner, safety, wide receiver, running back. Like, I could talk to any of them. It's been great, and I think they did exactly what they said they're going to do. They're going to find high character athletes who do their jobs, who who are going to take the coaching, and I think this could be really special. This group, I can't wait. Obviously, we're not going to have half of us when we get there in January, but I can't wait when we see everybody come. I think the spring, or whenever they'll come in.
So, student as the first part of student athlete. Have you thought about a major or what you want to do in college yet?
Yeah, so I'm going as business undecided. I mean, I just want. I've probably always been pretty good with numbers, so I just kind of go with that. Um, my brother did finance, and I always talk to him about his job and stuff, and his work kind of sounded interesting. So I might do business finance, but I'm honestly not very sure yet. I just got out of high school. I took an economics class and I liked it at my high school. So
Yeah,
we'll see where that goes. But that's all I got. And maybe one day want to go into coaching
yeah.
after it's all said and done, but I have no clue what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. I mean, you're not even halfway finished with your senior year yet. So, well, man, let's just finish on a few fun things to allow the fans to get to know you a little bit better. What's your pregame go to as far as music or playlist?
I mean, I listen to a bunch of different stuff. I've liked Rod Wave. I may not always before a game, but it kind of just gets me kind of mentally relaxed and locked in. So Little Baby. I like a song I like is Soak City. It's
Hmm.
the dance that all the NFL guys have been doing, the squabble. So I've been liking that song lately. Yeah, just anything that Grove Street Party by Grover Grove Street. So I kind
Yeah.
of that's one of my favorite songs. I listen to I think before every single game of the season, probably multiple times, honestly. But
Dude, go ahead.
yeah, that's probably the favorite song. I think I might make a mixtape with it too, like that.
Yeah.
That yeah.
Do you have any pregame rituals or anything you do before every game?
I do actually. I do this thing with my dad. So have you ever seen the movie Gladiator?
Yep.
Yeah. So before him and all the other gladiators go out, my dad came up with this before my junior year, and basically we just come up to me. He goes strength and honor like that, kind of like they do in the movie. So and that was our favorite movie when I was growing up when I was little. So it's kind of a cool thing I do with him before every game. We usually just do it either at the house or if we forget, I see him really quick before I go out onto the field.
Is it kind of cool that you're close enough to home where your family's still gonna be able to come watch you?
Oh yeah. Oh, I meant to say that earlier, but yes, that's a huge part. I mean, I'm a big family person. Like my mom, my dad, my little brother's here, and then my older brother and older sister both moved out. My older sister, she has two little daughters, my nieces. They're the best. So I love that they're all right here, so they'll be able to come to the game so easily. I mean, the drive from Columbus to Cincinnati is an hour and 40 minutes. It's literally the easiest drive. I've made it probably 20 times now. It's so
Yeah.
easy. So it's so nice to have them all be able to come. My older brother's already told me that he's gonna bring a bunch of his friends who already go to the games. He loves it, so I'm excited to see all that.
Do you have a favorite food or favorite restaurant on campus yet?
I mean that's impossible. I mean I'm a big guy, so I can put down some food. I mean, I love Chipotle. I could eat Chipotle every meal the rest of my life. To be completely honest, like I eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like it's way too good. Panda Express is a good one. Me and my friends, I've taken some of my friends to a few games. I took my family to one at the beginning, but I've been taking my friends to a bunch. And yeah, Pan Express. We always go there during halftime of the game, so that's always fun to do.
Yeah,
And that
Dan and Dakar both were raving about the Eagle on your guys' visit, the chicken down in OTR.
I'm trying to think. Did we? I think. Oh, I think we might have had that at one of the. We went to this Pins place, and I think they
Yep.
catered it. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty
Yeah, I
good.
talked when I know you're close with Dakar from your visit, but when I was talking to Dakar, that's all he talked about was how good the chicken was that they had on the visit.
Yeah, it was good stuff. I mean, they had like this hot honey you put on it, and like we were playing games and eating that. And I was living life on that official visit, so that was a good time.
Right. Well, man, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I've kept you way longer than I probably should have. I appreciate you coming on, and I know a lot of people are excited about you joining the Bearcat family in a couple weeks.
Yeah, hey, thank you for having me. I enjoyed talking about all this stuff. Anytime the Bearcat fans want to know anything, I'm always here, and I'm excited to see what the future brings.